I've got a template that I made that's 36 degrees. That would give you 10 segments in a circle. And I use that to set my carpenter gauge. And I use it to mark wood out on my raw stock, giving myself enough clearance so that I can cut this out and take one of these pieces, and I make sure that my table on my disc sander is square with the disc. I sand one edge and I sand the other edge almost to the line, and I use my gauge and I hold this up to the light and see if I can see any light between this surface and this surface of the gauge, and keep adjusting this until it's a perfect fit. And I do that for each piece. And then I sand the points off of these wedges so that when I put these together against my reference, these points don't get in the way. I take a reference board, I put glue on the first one surface here, not on that surface, lock that down in place, and then on each piece put glue on both surfaces, spreading it out until I get this last piece in here. And since we took the point off of these wedges, I'm going to have a little gap in here, and that's fine, because when we get our wheel glued together of wedges, then we're going to drill this out and replace it with a hardwood dowel. By virtue of taking these pieces from a board like this, and we're flip-flopping the grain pattern coming around the circle, we're hoping that any tendency in that wood to bow or warp will offset each other by gluing these segments together, and when you're done, you hope that you're going to have a stable wheel. Took the clamps off of this piece, sanded the back side on the belt sander a little bit, get rid of the glue bumps. When you glue these together, they are 36-degree wedges, but when you add the glue, and it's a water-based glue and you're dealing with a piece of wood, it's not necessarily going to come out exactly 180 degrees. Mine wasn't aligned perfectly here, so I took that and I ran it across the joiner just to true up this edge. And I'll do the same thing with the next piece that I'm going to glue up. And then we bring the two halves of the circle together, we'll have a good glue joint through here. I've sanded the back side of both of the wheel halves so they're nice and flat. Put this board on here on our clamping fixture to give us something to push against. We'll put glue on both surfaces. I will put that against this other board. I'm going to put this board across here with a couple of clamps to hold it. And we'll take this piece, we'll push it against there, lining up all the segments so that it looks correct. We're going to push that together. I'm going to put a few more clamps on here, and that'll be the process. The first segmented section I was demonstrating, I took my template and used it to lay wood out on a straight piece, alternating the sections like so, to try and get as many pieces cut out of my wood as possible. This resulted in a orientation where the wood grain is not pointed directly towards the center. I think this will be good enough for a clock wheel, and once all the spaces are cut out and the teeth are cut out, it's not going to be that noticeable, and it does maximize the number of wedges that you can cut from a board. If you want to orientate the grain straight up and down, then the pieces will be cut out of a section of wood like so, and you end up with quite a few scrap pieces. If your board's a little wider, you can probably that. I see on this one that the grain pattern points straight towards the center. I took my original 3/4 inch thick piece and I ran this, after it was glued up and good and dry, I ran this through the planer. And every time it went through, I turned it a little bit and stuck it through in a different direction, trued up both sides, and really didn't notice much in the way of planer snipe on this at all. Of course, when I was all done, ran the random orbital sander over it and smoothed it out. This other one, I reduced it to 1/4 inch, same way.